back, folks. Welcome back to the Tower of Babble, a game for relics and angels, and the folks who may or may not have to deal with them. I am, as always, your killer GM. I have he, him pronouns. I portray a wide variety of people, places, things, concepts, otherworldly realities, a lot of different things that have a wide variety of identifiers. As we jump back into things, let's go around and reintroduce our band of angels. Cadence, how you doing, friend? Who you playing today?
Oh, hi. I'm playing Irin, a lovely, sweet area angel. Yeah. Myself, I'm in the middle of a move, so yeah, I'm not talking about that anymore. Other than that, doing great.
That's fair. We're away from the move. We are back in the game. We are going to see what trouble we can get up to today. Irin doesn't get any trouble. She's fine. Making his way back to us for a triumphant grand reappearance, Jamaica! How you doing, buddy? Who you playing today? Muted.
Muted.
I'm doing quite well. Aside from that, and the beginning of this week was horrifying, but that's a whole other thing. But we're okay now, and I am he they, and I am playing Rigon, an angel of fire that is new to the world and finding his place.
Very nice, very nice. Catch up with Rigon in a hot moment here. But, of course, we also have a couple more we gotta talk to. Obi, how you doing, friend? Who you playing today?
Well, hey there. I can't really complain. I've been doing pretty well, but pretty busy. Speaking of pretty busy, I am playing the Auditor, the architect of anxiety, Nesher, renowned for his ability to swiftly hit the bricks when faced with any level of meaningful resistance, as one must.
Yeah, fight or flight, and turns out flight's a hell of a thing when you're a Nesher. As we come down, last but absolutely not the least, Kev, how you doing, friend? Who you playing today?
Hey everybody, I am doing quite well, busy as always, but we're getting through it. I use he, they pronouns, and I will be playing Asmodeus, a angel who's teetering on the lines between good and evil. We'll see what happens in this episode. Oh, okay, not that evil, but sure, we'll take the theme music where we get it. But yeah, playing Asmodeus today with his little magic hammer. We're getting more and more powers with that glorious little relic, and yeah.
We keep drawing your arcana. You can't keep getting away with this.
Soon I will have all the power, but yeah, I decided to pop that off some more.
Well, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen here. Speaking of anything happening, last time on the Tower of Babel, for those faithful viewers, our band of angels went to a meeting with the demon Daniel and had a lovely conversation with him. He was very interested in acquiring relics of varying stripes. Asmodeus gave him the Silver Mask of El Santo in exchange for the location of more relics. And given their pick of things to go after, our band went to the Maze of Maze in Iowa. A corn maze. Normally only active in the Halloween season. They found it quite active already in the summer, and overcoming its mental trials, it used to be preying on mostly mortals. It manifested itself as a terrible corn monster, a corn golem, if you will, which our band of angels were able to defeat, to disperse, and cast out the demon that was the Maze of Maze. And in doing so, claimed some new relics. They have 3 relics they may choose from. There is a book, a scabbard, and a brooch with what appears to be an apple carved of ruby. Which one will the angels claim?
This is just right. We're all in, like, within the vicinity of these relics, right?
Yeah, basically what happened is after you destroyed the maze monster, essentially, like, there was trampled stalks and churned up earth, and almost as if the earth itself yielded these things back up. These things are kind of like in a small grouping near the center of the destruction.
I'll go over to the
Being-
book. Is there any text I can make out of it? Or is it a language I can understand?
The symbol on the front is very familiar to you. It is the Seal of Solomon, which is very much it's written in a language that's not quite divine, but it's not of Earth either.
Okay.
And that in and of itself marks this as interesting.
Right. Good to know. Good to know.
Auditor's going to go examine this scabbard here.
So you pick up the scabbard, and your eyes go into the back of your head as you feel that rush of taking up a relic. This relic, you launch back and you find yourself medieval Europe. Not just medieval Europe, Britain. A man has just sheathed the sword in the scabbard. He is a young man, the epitome of health. A radiant king. And you know his name. It is Arthur of Camelot. He grows even more radiant with the power of the scabbard at his side, and Britain flourishes with him. He fights but does not fatigue. Wounds he receives heal up almost instantaneously so long as the scabbard remains on his hip. But with the betrayal of Lancelot, Guinevere, and others of the court, Arthur weakens, and Britain falls into decay. Until finally, at the Battle of Camlin, the scabbard is lost, and the land heals of its own accord. You have acquired the scabbard of all the earth.
And he'll just kind of like carefully tie the thing to his belt. Oh, like look about, and then kind of after like a little bit of consideration, he'll untie it and hand it off to Irin.
Oh, thank you, Auditor. My goodness.
This will be better for you than for me, I think. More efficient, more useful.
You're most kind.
We both know that's not true.
When you want to be, how's that?
And as I see that whole... Oh. Right, well, yeah, as all that plays out, I'll go ahead... Asmodeus is going to go pick up the book and see the history behind that.
You pick up the book, and as you pick it up, the book appears in your vision, just kind of hovering there. It flies open, the pages flipping across. You see formulas, mathematical equations, complex figures, not of any ledger that you would recognize. But the end result at the end is illustrated. A man who performed the rituals of the book and did not die. He wandered the earth until such time as someone killed him and took up the book for themselves. And on this went through the centuries. You've picked up the Book of Abramelin.
Yeah, just feeling it on my hand, being like, looking on and go, here's something that might suit your fancy, Auditor. You always were one for bearing your head in knowledge, and here's some more information for you to keep track of.
Information will kind of, and like, yeah, when he takes it, so when he sees some of the same things. You know, like you see him briefly, like kind of like hold it out at arm's length. Long form curse, more like useful bait, perhaps. I don't. Yeah, and he'll kind of tuck it away. Yes, maybe I can make use of this. Pawn it off. And what was the last artifact in the little pile, as it were?
Yeah, the last one you found, it appears to be a brooch carved in the shape of an apple ruby, but it's got a wood outline to it.
Yeah, so the auditor is going to go and like carefully pick that up and examine it.
You pick it up, and you are catapulted back to creation, back to when the earth was young before you had even touched the ground. And you see someone wearing the brooch and pointing. And as they point, a mountain raises up, following the curve of their hand. And then they push down a little bit and a lake forms in the middle of it. And you have found the seed of Eden.
And the look about this is currently we are in the we are in the devastation formerly known as a very big cornfield. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on the seed, and Auditor is going to see if he can restore like not necessarily the maze itself, but at least like the crops.
Okay. So you're gonna just try and like pull a cornfield up out of the ground, essentially?
Yeah.
You focus on the seed, and you can tell that this is within the seed's power, but the seed is a very, very limited use. It can only do this thing once per year.
Okay, so he'll think about it, and then he'll kind of let go, as it were, and I'll speak aloud like, This is an artifact of creation, grand creation, mountains, rivers, possibly oceans, ice caps. Once
If
per
it
year,
is, if it is something of that power creation, perhaps Rigon and his followers, they can make use of it.
perhaps seem modest as far as people go. Certainly much easier than trying to manage brokering power with this sort of thing. Especially not with politics. Celestial politics, even. As questionable as they are already.
But is it wise to give someone like Rigon the power of creation?
I mean, he already
Is it
has
wise to
the
give it to
power
anyone?
to. Exactly. He already has the power to rain down fire. Why not balance it out with like a little creation, you know? And if he doesn't like what he makes, he can just, you know, start over.
That is true, yes.
I mean, it's still like, it's gonna suck to have to be like, oh crap, I made the wrong little mountain formation. You have to fire that up for a good couple millennia and then wait another year for that to resettle and then create again. But, you know, I don't know how much of
Right.
of a perfectionist he is, mind you, so he'll take what he can get, I suppose.
Tis
Looked like
well.
he went anyway. Not as if we contacted him.
I was just giving you a little bit of the The rub, as some people call it. You'll define this, I'm certain, Rigon. You've got a good head on your shoulders.
So, 4.
So,
Pass off the seed and move along. Don't need to stay in this devastated cornfield. Perhaps people might want answers about.
if you make your way out, as you're heading away from the cornfield, you see that the corn itself is starting to like shrivel and rot. It's dying.
And it doesn't look like anyone else, like, as we're leaving the corn, does it look like anyone else is, like, seeing all this? Any mortals or other angels nearby?
You don't feel the buzz of angels. If there are mortals nearby, I mean, all they're gonna see is a dead cornfield.
Okay. I was more so worried if they were catching how oddly fast it's dying, but yeah, good to know.
Honestly, the bigger concern is if somebody saw the maze monster.
Oh, fair.
I mean, depending on your view on such things and whether or not mortals should bear witness to the battle between hell and heaven. But
That's a problem. Problem solved. Fortunately, problem solved even. Though, question remains why a demon would direct us to one of its own. Not enough information to answer. Asmodeus, you have more of this information, yes?
Well, we're only given this one location of where all these relics would be. We'd have to go back to acquire more, unless there's evidence or someone else feels a relic nearby.
Dislike the prospect. Don't really have the doubt we've the power to go and kill him now. Frankly, with still little if any idea of his network, getting rid of him might just shut down the only leads that may exist on the rest of that infernal host.
Well, we'll see how he is faring. I mean, who knows, something else more intriguing might stop us along the way while we're going back to his locale. But I'd say this is a pretty solid haul. A relic for most everyone in the group thus far, and in worst case we can always trade it potentially for something better from Daniel's inventory.
Trick enemy. What does this war come to? Travel it is. Travel it is. Still have that vehicle.
Yes, we do, I believe. We do still have it, right? The car didn't get fucked up by the maze.
I don't think so. I think he parked away from the maze. Though
Alright,
not away
good.
from the corn. Very, very hard to get away from the corn around here.
Right.
I don't. I believe we do still need to draw to drive though, because driving is hard.
I mean, there's so many things that could absolutely easily have gone wrong. Not the least of which is, did we actually keep this thing topped up with fuel? Did we?
I mean, I think I had something for driving. Pace. I
Perhaps.
actually don't. Never mind. So wait. Oh wait. I do have a paid Silk Road for navigation. So I think
That's
I
navigation.
kind
So
of-
you'll
Okay.
driving
I can
is
at
a
least ride
specific
shotgun.
skill that you.
Okay.
I mean, somebody can drive. It's just you have to draw to make sure you actually do it properly. Because unfortunately, this whole technology thing is still, it's hard for you guys. It's hard for you folks.
So radios are easy.
So-
You just kind of mess them for a little bit, and then you can make phone calls. That's how radios work.
I mean, these days, actually, but
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see who's doing the driving.
Like open up the door and just sort of like motion for Irin to take the wheel. You haven't had the pleasure thus far, and you only know the joys of flying. Let's see how you adjust to moving on the ground.
I wouldn't even know where to start with this beast.
Well, it looks like the feet go in these two spots. Maybe if you hit them at the same time, it'll do something. Or go one at a time and just... It's all part of the experiment. You helped, Da Vinci and whatnot with his flight thing. It was a work in progress. There was a lot of trial and error. What's wrong with some trial and error on whatever this is? I'm sure that little stick thing does something. And, as we saw from Auditor, radio, I guess, can make calls if we need to. But, yeah, go ahead and give it a whirl. And I will, as soon as she gets in, I will wait in a shotgun. Just arms crossed and just waiting. Very Mosby and like that one character from Zack and Cody, just like waiting in the shotgun seat, arms crossed, just waiting to see how she drives.
I push the pedals, I turn the wheel. Nothing happens because it's not on.
Well, let's see. Does Irin work out a bit of how to drive? Let's see.
Let's find out.
The Five of Swords. Nah, that definitely seems like a.
Oh no!
How do we end car again?
You could back up into another car and just mess up the bumper.
Just. You can feel things like moving around and shifting in the machine, but how Asmodeus was able to make it go before you just.
This is on you, Asmodeus. There's...
All right. Well, we can give
I
it a
have
look.
no
and,
idea.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed so simple when I first got on it. I mean, granted, I was very much under pressure, but we'll see.
Well, just do whatever you did then, and it'll be fine. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, there's no one around to potentially harm, and we get the law on our tail, so.
Well, mayhap that's
fine.
what you
It'll be
need. You need us to threaten you or something.
Oh, I mean, that could work. Some odd flight or flight instincts, even though we're both angels and we can't really be harmed, but, go ahead. Like, let's see if that works, and we'll swap seats, and I'll just get on the wheel and make my attempt again to drive.
3 of coins. It
Oh,
was
it's
so
even
simple before.
worse.
It was so simple before. What happened?
I don't know. When we first turned it on, it just felt like Fast and Furious, where everything just made sense the second you got in the car, and anyone could just drive like a god. But here it's like, now it's just the math equations are floating in my face, just like, wait, how does any of this work? They really should give us
Like,
a
you're
class for
self-conscious
operating
about it
stuff like
now?
these. Yeah. Just like, okay, maybe walking. How long of a walk are we looking at? Auditor, how fast are we? You're pretty quick. How long of a trip are we looking? Top speed from you? We just like, put a sled
3 hours.
or some type of mechanism. 3 hours?
It'd be more than 3 hours. Oh, well, okay. Let's. No, you. Okay, the Nesher definitely has an idea of distances. I will give you this.
Yeah.
It is going to be more than 3 hours to get from Iowa to LA. It took you like a couple weeks to get here. Driving.
Okay. Well, considering
Or
he
did.
asked considering your top speed, and Auditor can't just answer the question as if he was sprinting full out, moving at the obnoxious speed of a passenger jet.
What about you, Rigon? Do you know how to work one of these things?
I've never tried before, but there is no reason for me not to give an attempt as well.
Four angels shuffling around in a car, trying to figure out what makes it tick. Alright. Let's see. The 5
Again
of
with the 5 of coins. This is sick.
Now, Nesher have mastery over moving. Whenever they are trying to move swiftly, skillfully, or secretly, they get a full success if they draw any coins card. This is like moving anything, Rigon. Like, all you have to do is just give it the spark of life, and you just, like, hot wire the car.
We hear the sound, I'm just like, holy shit. How would you know?
It would seem that I am a natural at such a thing. Let us make haste.
Let's make that haste. That's how you say it, right? All right, let's go!
And you're off. Back to the City of Angels. Is there anything you'd like to do on your way back? Or anything
Just
you'd like to
keep
do with the
our
downtime? that
senses
you've got?
out for any relics we might find on the way.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna see if I can use this radio to acquire some recent news. Seems if even mortals are going after relics now, perhaps there'll be some sort of clue on on whatever it is passes for town crier these days. Perhaps some knowledge of how people are reacting.
Yeah. You kajigger around the radio, and in fact, I'm gonna make you roll for this, or draw for this. You fiddle around, yeah, there's static on a lot of places. But places where you would normally find, like, you've heard music before, you know that they do music, and there's news channels, and, you know, even, like, humans play sports, and they talk about sports a lot, and they talk about sports on the radio a lot. You remember, like, some big hoopla over, like, some World Series back in, like, the 1900s or something, you know, surely they'll be talking about that. And it's not there. The radio is dead air for several different channels. You keep switching, and you eventually hit a channel, and on that channel you just hear "We beseech the Almighty, they might hear us in our hour of need. We seek the gates of heaven," and this just repeats over and over in this calm, soothing voice. And the thing about this is, Auditor, you're hearing this in Latin. Or, well, actually no, it would be Asmodeus hearing it in Latin. You'd be hearing it in a form of Sumerian. Irin hears it in Italian. And Rigon's getting it in just plain English.
I know this language. I know this language. I believe this language is most largely forgotten. How is it? Oh man. Who's why?
I mean, I don't know what you're hearing, but it sounds to me like it's... Like, I don't even know what they're on the radio with this. This is a dead language, for the most part.
English is not the dead language.
What are you talking about English? It's Italian.
Then
So
I
it would
like-
seem to be understood in our most comfortable tongue. Or oldest?
gonna
I'm not
focus.
sure.
Focus on the radio again, like definitely not getting the artifact buzz from it, right?
Not from the radio, no.
Is it possible to find out where this is being sent from?
We would perhaps have to follow the signal. I understand. I know enough of these things to know that you have to send it from somewhere. And if we could perhaps follow it towards its strength, perhaps it must spread somehow to get from where it is to here. So if we can follow it back, perhaps then we can find its source and determine what, how, perhaps who. This is... I am certain this is abnormal. This shouldn't be the only thing. And it is. It's not. There's been some action.
I would say... This... If we can triangulate the position or if it's on all these stations locally, if it's still broadcasting in LA, perhaps we might find, if we confer with Daniel or another contact, they might know who is broadcasting this signal. And then we'll find out if it is indeed either one of our own or some other means of which it is being understandable to us.
Good dealer. How far are we on our road trip at this point?
It's only been a few hours. You're still a couple days out from LA proper. I will say you're probably gonna need to stop for fuel soon. And easily, unless you want to try and specifically track down the source of this radio signal first.
It's definitely what Auditor would like to do.
Same.
Okay. So the two of you, Auditor and Asmodeus, working together. Let's see. Does anybody have the Magician as their signifier?
No joke.
Irin!
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Irin, a miracle manifests from your relic then. So, what do you think happens here? What's the miracle related to your dominions, of course? What would happen here?
Well, my main dominion is witness. But the second is communion. So we need to witness where this radio is coming from.
So for me, that's actually really easy. What happens is your little file kind of like pops open and there's a slight wisp of air, like the AC kind of blows a little bit of its own accord, and some of the verdigris floats out, and you can see the radio signal with the verdigris floating on it, and you can follow it.
Follow that.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to track that down at that point, I expect. A little bit later, you make your way into a town. The town is quiet. Very, very quiet. Except for a low, constant hum. And you, in addition to this hum that you're hearing, you feel the slight, ever so slight tug of a relic. But coming from all over this town. From multiple locations. And it's the same type of tug. You see the transmitter of a radio tower at the other end of town. That's where the signal's coming from.
Looking around as we're still driving, does it look normally as busy as any city would, or wherever we're going through, or is it oddly barren, or what's like the populace looking like here?
So as you're driving by, you see the populace, you see people on their knees in the street. and they have their hands open, their eyes cast down.
And do any of them like seem to take like are they taking any notice of us at all, or
No.
Maybe we should stop the car really quick. Sense something might be important coming here. And
Perhaps at a gas station. I believe that this machine will require fuel. If there is something, we can stop there and explore this area as needed.
Yeah, you're able to
course, of
find
course.
a gas station and pull off. Not difficult at all.
Yes, I just have a sneaking suspicion something more might be at play with the sheep.
So you're able to pull off and hop out of the car. What do you do now, Angels?
Auditor's going to approach one of the kneeling people and it's kind of like he's kind of gonna squat down a little bit in front of them and just wait. He's not gonna like say anything. Just see will they react? Like once he can kind of get a look at their eyes, or is there anything unusual there?
Their eyes are wide open. Their mouths are moving, and you can hear the same phrase under the breath. Almighty, please hear our call. Heaven is so far away, and we are so small. We need to get back in, please. And it's the same thing. You hear it in Sumerian. You swear. And you feel that slight tug of the relic coming from their cupped hands.
And
Yeah.
see here, I think the next thing he'll do is like very gently just like reach out and like just like touch their shoulder, see if their reaction, are they completely lost?
They are entranced.
Alright, I am starting to get creeped the hell out by all this going on here. And I'm gonna pull out the hammer and I'm going to strike the ground, like just a nice, like, open enough space just where I can see enough people. And I want to see if I can clairvoyant strike and see what is in the future of this area.
You strike the ground and you look up and you see this town is decaying. Nature is reclaiming it. You see where the people were kneeling. Bodies, skeletons, lying there, right where they were. And you hear that sound, that humming, now coming from the air. And you look up and you see an aurora across the sky. And you hear a chorus. Both beautiful and an aching reminder of something that was lost to you that you thought you could never regain. A feeling of home of belonging, of peace, something you have been missing for centuries on this earth, and it's within your grasp if you just reach out and ask for it. And you're back. And it's gone from you.
And as that vision clears up, you just see Asmodeus like fall down just in searing pain, clenching himself, just eyes shut. Well, seems like just like the old stories, or if it were really told, God really doesn't answer their prayers.
I'm going to start walking to the radio station.
I think the very last thing Auditor's gonna try, he's gonna like remove that scepter, point it at the kind of like the citizen that he just kind of like has like arbitrarily picked out and been experimenting on. I'll kind of focus it at them. I'm just gonna quietly say, at least try to command, wake up, speak with me for a moment, two.
Was where? How long has it been? Where am I? Let me go back.
You are.
Let me go back.
I do believe as the artifact works, I'm just gonna do that. So yeah, it's about as easy as the thing I asked.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Just let
they
me go.
just, their eyes just unfocus again. They go right back to staring in their hands. And as you look and see, in their hands you see cupped. Isn't that what the humans, what do they call them? That's a smartphone? And there's a series of lights and symbols and shapes dancing across the screen.
And that's in their hands, and that's where I'm feeling like the little bit of tug from.
That's exactly what you were feeling.
Mm-hmm. So kind of frown at it, and he'll kind of like a look away, so that like he's not like looking directly at it, and then carefully pluck it out of their hand.
And they keep mouthing these words, keep saying this prayer, and it slowly fades back into English, and their focus returns. It's gone again. You took it. Give me. I need that back, please. Please give it back.
Why do you?
And they're looking.
What do you think this will do for you?
It's. I'm connected. I'm connected with everybody. We're all together. We're all in the same place. The that happens. It's a miracle. It's. Please give it back. I don't want to be here.
who he'll he'll hold it like a little bit away, like not far away, just like who offered this to you?
Uh, it was a. I was free, free, free from the the talking corporation. And they're reaching up to it, and they're like, it's almost like they're not used to using their limbs after where they've been and what they've been doing for so long.
And just to be sure I heard it right. They said the Knocking Corporation.
Talking.
Talking Corporation. Okay. Where is their headquarters in this town?
They don't have a headquarters in this town. They're a tech company. They're in California. Please, look. If you want your own app, like you can get it. You can just download it online. That's what everybody does.
And Auditor will kind of like frown. He'll kind of like look around, like kind of thinking of like the scale, and as well as like, you know, the is this even, and after that he'll just kind of he'll decide, and like he'll just hand it back to them.
And they take it back, they grasp it in their hands, and they press a couple buttons on there, and the sequence starts again, and they visibly relax, and their prayer starts anew.
And you know, like his investigation satisfied, he'll kind of just look around to see where everybody else has gotten off to.
I believe Irin was heading towards the radio tower, yeah?
Anything going on inside?
One, when you're there, you're able to walk right in. The reception desk, there's a person at the desk sitting, murmuring. Once more, you're hearing this in Italian. It's even going in the speakers, like, where they normally pipe in some stuff at the radio just to kind of like keep things going. Yep. You Nobody stops you. You keep going through, though you do feel that slight, as you pass by the receptionist, you do feel that slight tug of a relic there.
I'll go behind and see what's up.
You see the receptionist sitting there, looking right at their phone. Their prayer in Latin reaching through.
And do I have to draw to try to find the relic I'm feeling out here?
No, you
Or is
you
it
can tell it's emanating from the phone.
All right, I will pick it up then.
You pick it up. You look at the phone, and the series of symbols and letters and colors and lights, like, you recognize some of these. There is some of the angelic speech posted into here. There is some other signs. There's a language you don't quite recognize in there. That's a little strange. but that's it. For all intents, you're watching, the a random YouTube video essentially for all the good it does you. But it's not a relic. At least this isn't.
I'll just put a hand to her shoulder and be like, "It's all right. We'll get you and the others back to normal soon, and heaven will let you in and all that jazz."
And as you kind of touch, she look. What? Where? Why am I gone? Why am I out?
And I stop touching
who
her.
Are you? Who are you? Why? Where's my phone?
I'm gonna try to hide the phone.
Okay. Let's go sleight of hand, concealment. You're still hurting a little bit from that hammer strike, so we're gonna be blighting you for that.
That's fine. I'll take my loss.
That's how it be. Relics have a price.
Yeah.
Page of Swords would normally be good. You're gonna have to draw better though to make it work. Unfortunately, the Ace of Staves is
Oh.
Wait, are we?
Oh.
Is it ace high or ace low?
I think
We'll check that.
I would assume an ace is higher.
Yeah, no. The ace is the low one. So, unfortunately, that is a failure. And she, hey, I need that to be back in there. And she grabs at the phone.
No, you don't. Really, heaven isn't all it's cracked up to be. It is boring as fuck all.
It's
do
not heaven. It's being able to be. It's not heaven. We're trying. We want to get there. We'll get there. We just have to be together. We have to be all together. Give it back, please.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you, but whether you're together or not, it's not a pretty ending for you. I've seen what's in store for you mortals, and it is not the best. So if you want
don't
it,
care.
I mean, okay, fine, and I will get the phone back to them.
And like she wipes away the tear that was starting to form, and she relaxes.
Good Lord, that is really a sad sight.
Irin, you're just walking right on.
Mm-hmm.
You continue to walk through. You make your way into the broadcast room, the studio. And there you find a pair of DJs, a couple techs and that sort of thing, and they're all sitting there, heads down, hands cupped together. They're all saying the same thing, singing the same song.
This is odd. This is more than just a radio station. going to go back together with the group and see what we think we should do next. This isn't normal. I mean, I know humans love their boxes and talk in them all the time and listen to them, but this is beyond that. Yeah, I'll just go back to the group.
Okay. I think you'll reconvene outside the radio station unless somebody has something else they'd like to do.
This seems they all acquired it through their smartphones in an app. Like you said, in the word was an app or an application, some sort of program, perhaps through the Hawking Corporation. It must either a mortal or perhaps an angel who took control or used their artifact to load it. It takes them, I think. They do not. And once they have been taken, they do not wish to leave. You can force them out if you take the phone away, but can't
It's
really
like
say
they're all
there's much
being
point.
hypnotized.
Well, remember, truth of hypnosis. It only works as long as you let it. You can force the trance to end, but can you make them leave? But that doesn't make them want to leave.
Yes, they won't be leaving if they stay like this. Looking in as far ahead as I did, I saw that all the bodies were still in that same position. Charred corpses. And as well as something else that we've been missing. All of us have been missing for centuries. Perhaps something from God or some other source, but I was so close to feeling out what it was, but much as I could have touched it, it ended. I was back with all of you.
Perhaps the end game. Perhaps the ending point of the ritual. If it seems this is broadcasting, spreading through this application, perhaps there is some sort of once enough people have been enraptured, perhaps once enough time has passed, perhaps another effect of this relic or the ritual takes place, and whatever that was actualizes. Doubt there's much point to investigating it, or at the very least, that there's more we can find out here, and I don't think there's much of practically to do.
That may not be true. It would seem that we need to find the source of this. However, if you do believe that, in fact, the grouping of people will be responsible for this power's completion, we could perhaps end the suffering of these people here by forcefully taking their devices or by erasing the entire town.
The source is in California.
And so we must head that way anyway.
Talking Corporation. People call it old habits, but to me this feels very much our place is not to interfere with these people, and I suspect we need to end whatever this is in California anyway. When that ends,
For someone else to dare say that we should not interfere. How interesting. How quaint. It's beyond that at this point. We must end the other interference, even if it means that we intercede. Do we take their devices, or do we move with haste? I think it wouldn't hurt for us to destroy all of the things broadcasting this signal.
the devices,
Well,
not the...
If we plan to do that, we'll have to visit every human in this place, for they all carry these devices. I believe we need to go to the source and just eliminate that.
Perhaps if we can start with the town, but it might be quicker to do the source. However, clearing this place...
I don't think we don't have an efficient enough system. There's thousands, tens of thousands of people here, even with two Neshers, even if we're very efficient at taking the phones of each and every one of these people, and assuming that they don't start resisting, as they well might. I think merely the time it would take us, this surely must be spreading through every phone, many phones, all of them. Just clearing this town, there might well be a dozen more that we don't see falling.
Dealer. Thinking back to the Talking Corporation, would I know anything about that? Or if it sounds like it's more than just a typical human company that makes this phone-based app that happens to be on everybody's phone?
Well, we can see if you know anything. The King of States says you do. With that, you know that the Talking Corporation is one of those, it's a tech company, they do the thing called the social media, those sorts of things. And they had been touting a new application that was going to come out to make communication easier.
Okay. And thinking back to their origins or how efficiently they've gotten their message across, would it be reasonable to assume that there is some heavenly force behind their operation and they are the ones pulling the strings in all this?
You aren't... I wouldn't say your specific knowledge of this would be knowing who's at the top necessarily, but that thinking back on some things, it does seem like they probably do have some form of divine or infernal influence putting the thumb on the scale here. This certainly makes it fairly obvious. If not, they're a hell of a cat's paw.
All right. So, we shall go to the Talking Corporation, or whatever station is broadcasting this, find the source of the problem, and take care of it as swiftly as we can.
Nothing else. Stop the source, even if they remain hypnotized, they can be pulled out effectively and permanently. I believe as it stands, our solution would only last the amount of time it takes them to acquire another device and find the application again.
To the car, then.
And so to the car, the band of angels went. And they left the little town. And back to California they crawled. Is there anything else you would like to do on the trip before we bring you back?
I think like Auditor's gonna like tune to the chanting station and just kind of he's gonna kind of like I think he's like figured out this radio at least good enough to like figure, okay, like, yeah, if I turn this thing, it changes the station, and just see like are more stations playing this like as time is passing. Is this like it's spreading?
It doesn't seem it's there's no rhyme or reason to it. Some stations play it, some stations just have dead air.
Okay.
You see several cars pulled off on the highway as you're driving. As you slow and pass by them, you see other people in their cars just looking down, saying their prayers. You come across even a few crashes that you're able to maneuver around. It does take some time. You thought you saw another car driving normally for a little bit, but then it drove quickly away from you as if it was trying to not be seen, not trying to make sure it wasn't following you, that you weren't following it. You're not sure. The world, for once in a very, very long time, seems that much more quiet and subdued. You return to California. You meander down from the north past San Francisco, and you make your way using Asmodeus's fine sense of knowing where these types lurk to the place known as Silicon Valley, the land of the tech giants. Here, more than anywhere else, the presence of the Talking Corporation and its app is felt. There is not a soul to be seen that isn't either on their knees in supplication or buried away. You even see some of the billboards here are playing the video that you've seen on the phone, and below it, new from the Talking Corporation, Babble, B-A-B-L-E, bringing us all together. And as you're driving, getting closer to the HQ, you feel a much stronger pull, a confluence of relics. Something you haven't felt in some time. This is much worse than a relic, much more terrible. Whoever is behind this application, whatever it's doing to the people, they have made a locus. A locus is when you bind a relic to the earth and make it a place of worship, of power. You've seen it before with certain temples, holy sites, cursed places, places that mortals refer to as liminal spaces. You draw closer and you see the Talking Corporation's headquarters. It is a skyscraper, but at once your vision seems to falter and you see the skyscraper literally scraping the sky as it stretches up far beyond the limits of any normal mortal building should be able to. You see signals coming from it. You see ethereal matter coming into the building in great droves, like clouds of weather being drawn and sucked into this one point. And then the vision clears, and it is just a normal tech skyscraper. A simple edifice of glass and steel. What do you do?
Is there a uniformed police officer nearby looking down at his phone?
Let's take a look. There is not.
Unfortunate. Are there other people nearby at all, outside of the building, under its spell?
100%.
Do any of them appear to be of this imaginary upper echelon in their fancy suits and tech gear?
Well, I mean, you see people that definitely work for the company. You see people that Probably would be considered, the day staff, that sort of thing, facility services. And in fact, seated on a bench is one very well-dressed gentleman.
I think a very quick and easy way, compatriots, to deal with this would be to open the sky above this building. If there is any objection, speak it now.
Are you certain of its effectiveness? You are pitting yourself against the locust. Numbers don't favor you.
Oh, as we know from the legends, raining fire kind of followed a swarm of locusts, so who knows, it might be a nice, they'll get the message or be fooled by what's to come, or this like the next part of the phase, so as far as a target, hell, raid on the building. Let's see, or at least target the dish and see if once that stops transmitting, if we can end what's going on with the people.
But what about the people that are surrounding this building? Or could be inside the building.
What about...
Rigon, how accurate do you think you can make the fire?
I can keep it above the building.
You can keep it above the building. I think we should be fine.
I understand your concern for innocence, Irin, but at this point, how long do we stand idle? All the innocent are suffering for everything that our kind have brought to this land. It is time to do what we can to end it. As a curiosity dealer, if I were to sacrifice more than one life, would that amplify the conflagration?
I'll allow it,
Okay.
as long as you can justify it to yourself and the Almighty.
This is to preserve this realm, when normally I have graciously used one life. Perhaps at this time we can use 2 or 3 of those wearing the uniform of this place, those that have contributed to the creation of this beacon of destruction. Are there objections to this?
The most
None
efficient
from
way to
me.
make war is to make use of the enemy's resources and not your own.
Irin?
Is there a preparation? Is there a preparation necessary?
But that I slay 3.
And yeah, with that, like, basically without waiting for more information, Auditor's just gonna dash off and start grabbing people.
Okay. So you grab a passel of people. They don't resist. Not even gonna make you
It
draw
does
for
work. It works better if they are uniformed officers. Something feels
yeah,
better
yeah.
about it, but
Yeah, not.
Feels more right.
I should clarify, not literally random people, rather people that meet the target criteria.
they look like they work for the place. I understand there are conveniently no officers at this particular time, but three souls is what it requires.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels better. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
No.
So you've got your ritual components, I guess, if you want to call it that. And You raise up your knife and prepare, and as you do so, you hear the roar of gunfire. Blam! Blam! And the knife flies out of your hand in a shower of sparks.
That's
What
let's see
direction
if I can-
did this seem to come from?
The building!
Well, that is quite rude.
Can we see the beings that fired upon us?
Yeah, you can. It's been a few days, but you remember this particular gunman sliding into view, his feet just a little bit off the ground.
God damn it.
I cannot allow you to harm the mortals.
What you're doing to them is better?
What we are giving them is salvation. You would damn them to satisfy your own pride?
It is not pride, fool. We are freeing them. We release them from whatever sick madness you unleash for whatever reason you think. How are you to pass on this idea of pride when you do this, claiming it is one thing? It has never been our job to get involved.
But they are suffering. You can see it every day. Millions starve. Others are killed. Many perish from disease. We would offer them the chance to come together and open the way back to heaven.
Against their will and to their own slow demise? I think that's not quite the same thing.
It's not against their own will. We merely opened the door for them to be together.
You merely
Can't
deceived
see
them.
that. If you can't see that, then you are surely on the side of the devils.
As he is saying that, I can clearly see him within range, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw my hammer, aiming just right behind him, and I will teleport and put it right to his neck.
Cool. So let's see if you can do your hammer thing. It's a hammer
Hammer time.
throw. The Queen of Staves is really good looking.
Mm-hmm.
But the Wheel of Fortune, anybody have the Wheel of Fortune? Nope. Nope, had to say
Not
Jack
to
Fans
me.
Punk Proud. Ouch.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, you wing the hammer, and they watch, and it lands behind them, and there you are, as you grab the hammer back up and hold it against their neck. And just what do you think that's going to accomplish?
I'm sorry, friend, but if this is your idea of bringing the mortal salvation, then you and my comrades here have a different idea of what salvation really is. So, you're outmatched and outgunned here. Just drop the weapon, and we can resolve this without bloodshed. And I really despise getting my hands dirty, but I feel dope as fuck throwing this thing around.
A member of the heavenly host is never alone. And you hear the swoosh of fire behind you.
Ah, shit.
I thought
while
I
this is
told you to stay
happening,
away from my blade. Yeah, Auditor.
while this is happening, can Auditor scramble for the knife that was shot out of Rigon's hand and try and get it back to it?
Um, yes. We can have you do that. You're going to need to dodge though, because the moment you lay finger to the knife, you're gonna get shot at.
Understandable.
So, yeah. Dost thou possess the skilling of dodge?
No, but I ameth a Nesher, and this sort of high-speed movement is an expertise of ours.
All right. Well, let's see if you can. See if you can make this work. The Knight of Coins for a Nesher is a very good card to draw. Because, as we have said before, established earlier, coins are the Nesher's little stock and trade. And so, you grab the knife, there is another shot that ricochets off the ground nearby. They thought you were going to be there, but that's not where you were. You're way faster than they think. You've got the knife. What now?
Non-murderously throw it straight to Rigon. Well, actually, no,
Okay.
not throw it because they've got guns, and frankly, I'm probably faster than my throwing arm. So, yeah, let's just deliver it.
Gonna deliver it? Okay. We're gonna do another dodge check. Because it's dangerous. The Two of Staves is not what you want to see as a Nesher. The shot rips into your vessel, through your thigh, and you go to ground in pain. The knife still held in your grasp.
Let's see here. See, one thing I think back. I remember I've got that book, and I understood its effects. It confers a certain sort of immortality as long as I have it. Yes, not necessarily immunity from harm, but immortality.
If you look at it, like if you spent time studying the book, which you had some time, so I'm going to say you did, unless otherwise noted. To use the book and gain its effects, you have to perform the series of rituals contained therein for a full year.
Not of much direct use, but it is a relic. So what I'm going to do is, as I scramble again, I'm going to throw it out and away from me, basically as a very simple sort of distraction, and then keep going.
Okay, let's see. And after this, we're gonna throw the action over to another body there. Another angelic form storms out of the building and heads for the book. And you're still trying to get to Rigon at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are blighted because you've been shot.
Yeah,
Which
and I think
definitely
now might
causes
be
a
a
little trouble.
time to tap into a memory here.
First one of the episode. Who wants to give the Auditor a memory?
I'm willing to give an honor memory. I'm thinking back to the time, um, early days of naval exploration, and we're on a ship of sorts, just going through very rough waters, and at some point, most of the crew is like getting down, just being pelted by heavy rain and water, and somehow you just are naturally bobbing and weaving through all the dust, the debris, and various items and knickknacks aboard the ship coming around, and you're just able to dodge it in time to quickly grab the sails to get us on the right course again. And I follow your lead and follow your movements as well to assist in getting everything back on course.
Okay.
Also, a reed in the stormy winds.
Let's see.
And that's Babble. Or did you?
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Oh,
The left card or the right card? Because we have two cards down. Left says the Six of Cups is not where you want to be.
sorry.
C'est la vie.
And so another shot rips through. This time, the wrist. The knife clattering out as you fall to the ground, feeling a pain that you have not felt for quite a bit. Because I believe, did you get shot by the soul gun before?
I was the person shot by the soul gun.
So yeah, this is a very familiar pain then. As another shrieking soul stops you. Stops your movement.
Three.
Rigon. What do you do in this case?
As I understand, we in these vessels are stronger than the average being.
Typically.
Would it be impossible for me simply to break the necks very quickly of all three of the sacrifices? I have used the knife before, but perhaps that might have some effect as well. It is more that I must sacrifice lives. They do not need to be willing, and they simply need to be sacrificed. That was the trammel itself, the blood ritual of a life to use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't say that it has to be necessarily that you're spilling blood, just that you buy these things with a life. So let us see if you are able to do so, or if our angelic gunman can beat you to the punch.
I'm hoping my natural speed and my proficiency with hand-to-hand combat would be helpful here.
Hand-to-hand combat. Normally it would be uh, if you were in hand-to-hand combat with him. But what you were doing is you're having to dodge his attacks. His attack.
Of course.
So, slight difference there. Uh, doing this straight away, or would you like to try and partake of a memory?
I shall remember.
Remembering is a good thing, we find. Who would like to share a memory with Rigon?
Here, I think I'll volunteer.
Yeah.
So this is, relatively speaking, perhaps 2.5 or so years ago. The East Coast, and we are in. We're both caught up in what some might call a sweep. You know, you round up where let's go about. They round up some troublemakers, makes them look good, makes them look active, lets everybody feel strong, feel good. But this is a night of angelic interference. Rigon catches their attention with a little aid from Auditor on exactly where to be to catch that attention. Rigon pulls their eyes and sort of not only focuses their attention on himself, but then leads them on a long and merry chase, far away from their intended victims, and in the end, allowing them not even the satisfaction of catching him. As he ducks, dives, he jukes, and he jives, and eventually he's around a corner, around another, and gone.
All right. And so we've got it. So, with the ability, that gained ability to dodge, the remembrance, we see the King of Coins. And of course, the Hanged Man. Who has that signifier again?
I don't believe that is me.
No, yours is the moon, right?
Mine is Vision Hammer. Mine is the moon. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Had to double check. Because I know the Hangman comes up so much, I swear it is somebody's, and it just never is. Every
It
single
is
time.
the signifier of the game. It is our mascot.
It is. A little bit, just needs a bit. Fortunately, though, with the King of Coins, Rigon, you deftly and swiftly move. Your ring digging into their skin as you whisper your prayers and intonations and break the necks of these 3 lives. Even as one shot from the soul gun is squeezed off, missing you by a good amount.
Could
How does
I
this seem?
use Rigon's actions of killing these people, drawing the attention of the gunmen to sneak around maybe to get close to them?
I can allow for that. So, do you have any sort of like sneaking or stealth type skill?
Probably not.
Not. It's hardly the worst possible thing.
Deception.
Not really a deception type thing.
Yeah.
You're not really talking to them about it. So, you want to do this just the single draw, or
Yeah, why not? Let's live dangerously. It's my first card pull
Always like-
for the day, so.
Death.
Ooh.
Spicy. Anybody have death as their signifier? No.
Close, but no cigar.
That is a heck of a pull. Well, fortunately though, death is not the worst card to pull out of the deck for you, hardly. And so you are able to kind of, in the ensuing fracas, go unnoticed and move around. But I believe a ritual was enacted.
Yeah.
A relic activated. Rigon, what does this look like?
I demand the sky scorch the land, conflagration come down at my command, at which point the bodies collapse and the sky darkens high above the building where we initially saw that spectral image. It then erupts, fire, flames, spewing from the air, raining down, covering the entire talking corporation, bringing it to whatever effect this enhanced flame might.
You've heard the stories before of the Pillar of Fire and how it guided the people to safety. This is not a pillar of flame for safety. This is a pillar of flame to destroy, to consume, to cleanse. The fire pours down as if out of a cup from the sky, wrapping around the talking corporation. The angels draw inside as they see it pouring down. This massive blaze. It whirls and swirls as if a cyclone was inside of it, spinning the flame to make something, to create an urn or a glass. And the flame starts to collapse in on itself. And you hear a whoosh as the air rushes to fill the gap, as the fire is absorbed, consumed by the tower. An aurora erupts in the sky, dispersing the clouds that had gathered. It's beautiful. What do you do?
Auditor's gonna struggle to his feet. He's gonna toss Rigon his knife back. That's the first plan. Perhaps from the inside. I can still walk. And yeah, he's going to start. He's going to like just start limping towards the entrance of the building.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk toward the entrance of the building as well, keeping my sword in hand, ready if those things come out again with their soul guns.
And oh, yeah, as all that's going on, I'm gonna see if I can beat the gun out of the hand of the guy I'm holding.
Sure. You got hand to
See if I can
hand?
just whack it off. I believe possibly. I think there was a memory navigation.
But something.
Wicked Whistle Brawl. Wicked Whistle Brawl champion I have. That is a memory. But I think that might have been for somebody else. Oh, okay.
No, that was you. That was you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Ace of Cups. Uh-oh. What the? Did that not? Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
flip
think you
another
just...
one. Oh, I know what happened. I took it. So this card, we will just...
You took it again. Looks like...
Yeah, I was trying to do this. There we go. The Chariot.
Ooh.
Anybody have Il Chariotto? So with the Chariot,
Alright.
I would say you're able to knock the gun out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at that point you're probably going to have to dodge Catriel's flaming sword.
That's fine. I will dodge as best I can. I do have dodge from beating sore losers, so that should
Turns
help.
out very helpful. The Hierophant
Mm-hmm.
and the Knight of Staves. Anybody have the Hierophant?
Mm-mm.
You barely get to the side. That flame ever so bright against your skin, or what, your semblance of skin.
Mm-hmm. And just dodging in the nick of time, I'll go low to the ground, pick up the gun, throw my hammer to the entrance of Tech Corporation, and be on the inside and wave them all off as I enter.
You're trying to wave your friends off?
Oh no, I'm waving off the assailants, just like a bye-bye, fuck
Oh, yeah.
you, something like that.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
see. Hammer throw. 4 of staves. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
But the Page of Swords is good.
Yeah.
That gets you to where you want to be. You appear back outside the building.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, as I see my friends, and I just look at the newly found revolver in my hand and be like, Yeah, you won't be. I had a feeling this should not have gone back in your hands, but I'll be keeping it safe for now. Toodles!
And the Zogzagel bellows in rage as you take the gun. What next, angels? Somebody, anybody.
Yeah, let's
See
go. I'll
here,
fuck up that signal.
Auditor's going to possibly grumble to himself. Oh no, I know exactly what he's going to say to himself. Fucking 7. And then he's going to kind of pick up this limping pace and try to catch up to Asmodeus.
Yeah, you're almost there. Next,
I would like to aid the Auditor to keep his pace at a regular one.
Okay, yeah. Show up. Kind of tuck yourself under the Auditor's shoulder a little and start to bear him along. Auditor, do you allow this? Is there any reaction?
Yeah, it's more efficient to cooperate with this rather than slow him down for trying to help.
Okay. So you managed to catch up to Asmodeus. And it's with that yell from Zogzagel, you hear the yell matched outside as that larger angel that Auditor had distracted earlier charges Asmodeus.
Oh no.
Let's see if you can dodge.
Alright. Bring on the Doge!
The 2 of staves.
Come on.
The
The
10 of
10.
staves will get you
Nice.
part of the way there. So you managed to get out of the way, but they are right up in your face. So you aren't knocked over, but they're there.
Right.
What do you folks do?
Let's see, you have this stave here. I'm going to see here, point it at him and just yell, stand still and silent for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. He just giving you the stankest of eyes.
Yep, and I think I think probably because of the way this works, just say aloud I'll be back in 5 minutes, and I'm sure you know what to do. I'm sure you know what to do then, and I'll just kind of just motion for everybody else to hurry.
Let us end this fool. Asmodeus, may I borrow that soul pistol?
I will toss it over to Rigon.
I will point it directly between this large angel's eyes.
Oh shit!
And I do have proficiency with firearms.
Well, look at that. Let's see what the cards say. the chariot.
Again with this chariot.
The hermit.
Yo!
Bingo!
That's it.
Auditor. So, Auditor, you manifest a miracle here. What is our miracle, and what was your relic once more? Because it's been a while, I think, since we've seen it.
It
I know you used the
has.
stats
It has been. The auditor has. His relic is it's a coin, adorned a little bit variably in the sense that on one side it's the disappointing visage of a timely ruler of little renown, and on the other an ever-changing number. I think in this, perhaps this moment of desperation and pain, this relic of healing and communication and a little bit of time is, I think, it's going to manifest it's going to manifest the point to solution, the solution of problem that its bearer deems most pressing. You can only do this, I think, once a month, and it only points the way. It doesn't answer a question, doesn't provide a solution.
Miracle name. There's your problem.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And so, the gun actually jumps a bit as the coin of the auditor drops to the ground with a small clink, and we see the face of President James Garfield on the head of the coin. And the gun points at Catriel and fires. And it wings her, and she falls to the side. Zogziel just kind of cracks his knuckles and gets ready to go.
Oh, the divine, they never know when to give up or take a bloody hint.
5. And yeah, I was just gonna say aloud, like, just 5. Asmodeus, you're healthy enough, yes?
As I'll ever
Rigon,
be.
you too, yes?
Very.
Right, right.
Let's do this.
Irin, would you mind helping me delay this one and let these other two see if they can't solve this? Running battle
so-
is no good, and I doubt I'll be much help.
So you'll take care of the signal, we'll take care of this goon?
The other way.
Okay. All right. Oh, I got an idea. Rigon, if you would follow me just for a moment, and I want to see if I can get a look at just the top of the dish. Or whatever, is transmitting this signal.
I'm going to say you aren't going to be able to do that reasonably from where
Okay.
you're at.
That's
You would
fine.
either have to
Go.
climb. You'd have to climb the tower, or somehow find a way to get an aerial view.
Okay. Well, Rigon, that. Like, let's take the stairs or the elevator, your pick.
Elevators are slow.
All right, haste with the stairs then. And try to find the stairs and book it to wherever our we can assume the signal is coming from.
Let's see. First we're going to see if Zoxadel can try and bar the way for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
'Cause I'm going to try.
Yeah.
The Two of Swords. The Magician.
This
Yes.
deck has gotten hot.
Called.
White hot, especially because normally in Relics, you only get a miracle once a session. However, because we are on Charter time, and we're in a much more grand place, I've activated my special little modification, the Age of Miracles. Miracles can trigger multiple times in a session. And so, Irin, what new miracle does your relic manifest?
It's already pretty wonderful. Oh, goodness. Would it be? Well, it is a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And I do enjoy flying.
That is true.
I would like to be able to brandish my sword and fly toward my victim. The sword outstretched.
So, I think the way I see this is you Zagzagil goes in to try and tackle Rigon and Asmodeus, and as if by its own volition, the verdigris leaps out of the vial once again, and this time sprays into Zagzagil's eyes as you go to follow up. And he howls and is unable to stay in a good range, and is waylaid by you, Irin, allowing the pair to begin the climb. Who's next?
Catriel's been hit, but almost certainly not slain. So I think I want to locate her, and just first I at least want to see what she's doing before I make another decision.
She is currently fighting to get to her feet.
Remind me, or at least clarify for me, the scepter. Does the back and forth of one command have to resolve before another can be issued?
I don't believe we had established that was specifically the case, but I would say that would be the case.
Okay. So, instead, I'm going to stagger over. I'm gonna try to stay just outside of the reach of easy slashing, and just this has never been our way. This was never our mission. We are here to guide, to aid, not to control.
And if there's no one here to tell us what we should or shouldn't do, what if there was no mission?
Then the way must be found. People come, people go. They succeed and they fail. I didn't think she ever would. But apparently, this could be true of even God. The way always exists. It has to always exist. We can find it. If we have to, maybe we can even make it. Not by chasing what didn't work, what left. We have to find a new way.
What if that's what
Better
we've
way.
been doing? Why are you trying to stop us from seeking that better way?
You trapped them in themselves. They're not going anywhere. Look what happens when you take them out. This Lotus Eater you have put them in. They don't have anything anymore. In giving them this, you've taken from them everything else.
We've given them what they've always needed. Perfect understanding of each other.
You've given them the sweet promise of a future that they don't have to do anything. They don't have to be anything. They don't have to care. They don't have to strive. You look upon them. I don't know how long you've been here, but certainly you know. As far from perfection as we are, so are they. You tell me you really believe that when they strive for nothing and nowhere and no one, you think they will reach perfection?
I don't have to think it. I know it. All that wasted energy, all that potential that was pent up inside of them. It can be harnessed. It's all one drop of water forming an ocean that can batter down the very walls of heaven, and you lack the sight to see it.
And what have you seen? How many centuries have you watched them? How many millennia have you guided? I know what I am. I have seen my own failures, measured every little success. Perhaps this is even half my fault. I gave them the nagging uncertainty that has dogged them all of their many, many years. The certainty that something isn't quite right, that they could be doing a little better. Because I thought it would drive them to grow, to strive. Because that is what they must do. They have to build foundations. They have to keep growing. We cannot stop them like this.
It's not a stopping. It's a transformation. You're still not seeing it. You keep getting locked in these cycles, these circles that you keep getting yourself trapped in. You keep letting yourself get weighed down by what you have seen, by what you think should be, rather than seeing what can happen, what you can do. That's the difference between you and me. You're so caught up in the little microscopic scope of what one person can or should do that you fail to see what you can have a million do. And I don't know how to make you see it. And she's reaching into her coat.
He'll kind of like taunt her up to like his full height and look upon the Auditor. Know his mission. He came down to win the war against hell, knowing that individuals fail, people fall, heroes stumble. Look at us. We talk past each other, talk beyond each other. You tell me you have harnessed the power of humanity to bring it to its brightest future. I tell you, all I see, you have done what I thought impossible. You have seen the one lesson I have proven time and again, that one can always fail. And you will make all of humanity one.
He just stares at you. Do you have persuasion or any other skill in that set, by chance?
Okay, let me flip it real quick. I have assessment, I have hospitality, and I have investigation. So I think this might be time for a memory.
Who has a memory for the Auditor? Anybody with a memory? If so, fantastic. If not, well. Going once. Going twice. I'm sorry, Auditor. Your memory has failed you.
As sometimes often does.
As it does.
Let's flip that
Well,
card.
we take it as it stands. The 10 of coins. Catriel looks you dead in the eyes. One can fail, sure. But we're not talking about just one. We're talking about a multitude. I'm not the best at this sort of thing. Look, if I can take you to the architect of this. He's much better at explaining this sort of thing than I am. He could make you see, make you understand.
He slowly nods and reaches to help her stand up.
She's kind of ginger, kind of careful. And you both head towards the elevator unless somebody impedes you.
Considering I'm there with him, Auditor, are you certain this is the path we should be taking?
One. There's going to be one leading this grand one. That one will fail. As they always do. And besides, and he kind of flicks a coin to himself. It kind of starts flipping it up and down in his hand. I'm sure this elevator ride will take a little bit. And I'll have some time to think.
I trust you, my friend. Let us go together.
And three of you get into the elevator. It closes and starts to ascend. As Rigon and Asmodeus climb the staircase, its flights seeming to stretch up and up and up, reaching towards heaven itself. So we will ascend to our conclusion of this week's episode of the Tower of Babel. So, let's go back around. And, as always, our last or our first. Kev, how you doing, friend? Where can we find you?
Hi, I am doing quite well. Another session of this never goes by without it being very stressful with too many successes or failures. But yeah, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at KKutoVA. We're on a bit of a hiatus now with Revenge of the Crypt, but you can catch our two latest episodes of that on the channel, and we'll be back probably second week of August with more of that going on. And yeah, I'm excited to see where things lead at the next time with our dealer. But yeah, I will have to bow out. But yeah, thanks again everybody for another session. Good times, and I will see you all next time.
Fantastic. Obi, how you doing, friend? Where can we find you?
I am feeling a little bit. I had to dig deep, but otherwise, very satisfied with very active session. And of course, as always, if you want to find me out there on the internet, you can of course see me on the Twitters at Jossa you can see some of my previous gaming work over on the YouTube channel of Valdriant, where both Revenge of the Gith and the Lancer actual play Shades of Tartarus are both uploaded and available for your viewing pleasure. But until then, as always here.
Next week. We got one more left in us. I think might have a few answers waiting in the wings. Jamaica, how you doing, friend? Where can we find you?
Oh, I'm doing some cool stuff happening here. I can't wait to see how this wild adventure comes to its conclusion. But I guess we'll have to wait a week, right? So I'm Jamaica Squeeze on the Twitters. I am Jamaica_Squeeze here on Twitch. I've been on a bit of a hiatus as I've been taking time to deal with some things, and I was supposed to be back this week, but this week was crazy. So I should be back on my personal channel next Monday. I might be messing with the time. It'll be somewhere in the evening or night Eastern. Otherwise, I can also be found on Valdriant's channel on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern for Nightmare on the Frontier, and then back here next Friday. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Fantastic. And lastly, never leastly, Cadence, how you doing, friend? Where can we find you?
I'm doing quite well. Yeah, that was quite the ride. I can be found at Magdalene Bloom on Twitter. I don't have a lot going on game-wise because, as everyone else, I've been a little busy lately, so hope to pick up in the next month or two again. But I can be found at Party Wipe Games on Tuesday nights playing Vampire the Masquerade. And where hopefully my dear vampire can get out of torpor soon. Oops.
Oops.
Yeah.
Just a little-
Other than that, yeah, just living life.
Is what it is. Fantastic. Well, folks, I guess it's down to me. Expect the outros to take a little more time, but you know how it is sometimes. Hi, I'm Matt, the Killer GM. You can find me on Twitter at the Killer GM. I write about gaming, other nerderies. Sometimes, I gripe about this terrible hell world that we live in and try to make things somewhat better for people if I can help it. When I am not here leading these people through the twists and turns that they so wonderfully navigate, every other Sunday I run a Mask game over on my Twitch channel, Matev7, Mask Sunset City. This weekend is going to be a doozy as we have galloped towards the climax of our second arc. The Mythfits are facing down against the director of the Bureau of Observation, Grigory Rasputin, who has merged with the Grigory to become the Grigory Rasputin. So, little eldritch horror, a little bit more of that lovely biblical nonsense we all get into, along with our wonderful, wonderful cast of teen superheroes. Check them out. We even have a few of them lurking around here on this here Twitch channel somewhere if you go looking for them at some points. So, we might get a little taste of what's going on there. Otherwise, kind of spinning wheels, looking at a couple things. As everybody else said, dealing with life, the universe, and everything, as things tend to be. But we come back through. We make it around. We keep persisting. We succeed. We fail. But ultimately, we continue to be human. So, as we come down to the end of things, I don't have a stinger for you this week because I can't come up with a stinger that's half as good as what we already just did. And anything else would just kind of be burying the lead for next week. You get your answers next week, kids. What more do you want out of me? So, from here at Weave the Tale, I'm just going to tell you, hey, with the Killer GM, you can always bet your life on it. Have a good rest of the day, folks, and a wonderful weekend.